You come to a tech world and you don't have the right signaling. You're not from one of the Ivy League schools. You didn't work at any of the big tech companies. You're an outsider. It's like an uphill battle because you can't even get sometimes the right meeting with the people that are gonna help you out. Especially if you're solving a problem that inherently, frankly, a lot of the key investors just have not faced.
I often feel like everything that's pushed towards tech founders is go raise around. But you don't look at the statistics that tell you less than 2% of Black women get investments. We've done a lot of pitch competitions. And I remember thinking at the last one, like, why am I here? Because every person that they've invested in doesn't look like me. Getting investments, it's possible, but is it really possible for me to do this?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, Emmanuel, how are you?
Doing very well. Nice to meet you, Denise. And I'm sorry, what was, is that Howard?
Yeah.
So by way of introduction, I am leading the Accelerator program. And then Howard is our VP of startups overall. The Impact Accelerator is a $30 million fund that helps underrepresented startups get on a level playing field. AWS has a number of accelerator programs. They're typically industry focused, so ed tech, fintech, health tech. This is the first and only accelerator program specifically built for underrepresented founders. Last year, it was about $333 billion of VC funding. Less than 1% of that goes to LGBTQ, 2% of that funding goes to women, and about 1% goes to Black founders. We saw thousands of applications come in for the Impact Accelerator. We set a goal. We end up increasing it about 300%. And then we just said, forget the goals, let the applications do what they want to do, which was really exciting, but also depressing because there's so many startups out there that are Black-led that are looking for opportunity and looking for a chance. And we were only able to select 25.
Tell me a little bit about your company.
So ChurchSpace, we were recently coined the Airbnb for churches by the Washington Post.
So just to kind of get Howard up to speed, maybe you could just give us the 1-minute elevator pitch of the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yes.
Just so Megan can kind of get caught up, maybe you guys could just give us the 1-minute, pitch of like what problem you're trying to solve.
We are helping companies launch, scale, and personalize their video ad campaigns.
Well, the problem we are solving is substance abuse.
Looking at apparel, for instance, I found that 70% of women are size 14 and up, but they're only 2% of the images that they see online when they're shopping.
Underrepresented startups are still creating these things. It takes them a lot longer to get traction. It's not that there's no opportunity for them. The opportunities are typically slower.
I have another question. I'm sorry, Denise, can I ask a question?
Go ahead. Yeah, please do.
How quickly from this moment could you book your flights and get them back to Denise?
Now.
Now, I'm being facetious in terms of I want to officially welcome you to this first cohort of this AWS Impact Accelerator. Congratulations. It's not like American Idol where you pack your bags and go to LA. You're not going to LA, you're going to Seattle.
Yes.
Howard, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How quickly could you send that flight information to Denise? Because we want to officially welcome you to the AWS Impact Accelerator. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh, thank you guys. Yes.
What's unique about the program is its hybrid nature. What we really wanted to create was a community. So week 1 is in our HQ. We pay the cost for the CEO and CTO to fly out to Seattle. We pair them with a business mentor and a technical mentor. And so their CEO sits with the business mentor, the CTO sits down with the technical mentor, and then they map out their architecture and what challenges or bugs that might be happening.
We're going to onboard with 50 churches, but when we launch, we can't say no other churches.
You're thinking like a beta, like test out.
We're already taking data from what does work and what doesn't work from that small set. Because tech is something that a lot of Black founders, we don't have it, right? And that's partially because of systematic racism, things that weren't afforded to even our parents. When you have someone saying, hey, we want to help get you ahead of that curve, it's definitely game-changing.
That could be where, if you guys would be open to it, we could potentially leverage conversational AI.
I am Day. I am the CEO and founder of ChurchSpace.
And I'm Emmanuel Brown, the COO and co-founder of ChurchSpace.
I know me as a Black woman. I feel like when I walk into a room, I'm not just walking in as Day, I'm walking in for every Black woman in tech. So I cannot make a mistake. I can't show up unprepared, right? So to have someone say it's okay not to have it completely together, that's why you're here, because we're gonna help you get to that point. It makes you put your guard down. It makes you actually soak things in. It's hands-on, but it's not rush, rush, rush. That shows me your bottom line wasn't how fast can these people launch after this 8 weeks. Your bottom line was how can I build them in this 8 weeks to still continue to grow.
Keep the momentum, show up and show out. I want everyone in this room to know that they are now counted in. We are no longer counted out. Thank you so much. Of course.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
What is he looking at?
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Don't thank me yet. Thank me when you hit that seed round.
Right.
Now it's just the start. The hard work begins next week.
Weeks 2 through 7 in the middle are virtual. The participants meet with their mentors and take online classes.
So if you look at products, especially unicorns like Instagram, Facebook, a lot of the times these products, when they came out, they weren't the greatest, right? But they still created a huge impact in the space.
Tech was supposed to be this great equalizer. It's true, to some extent it has, but it also increased the divide and inequalities because a lot of the problems that were being solved is just for that small percentage of people that fit that world.
Here's an example. I'll go back to Black illustration.
It's a design problem, but also a problem where people just have too many blinders on. They're just not familiar with a lot of systemic issues that are at play, and I'm not trying to solve them. My name is Peter Njongwe. I'm the founder and CEO of Oben Health. Oben Health is a culturally competent mobile app that is designed to sustainably treat heart disease.
The statistic is 50% of people in communities of color have heart disease of some form. I think that's the most important point to drive home because that's the crux of what we're doing.
Oben is actually my brother's middle name. It was March 3rd when I got the call that my brother had passed away. He was 36 years old, and he simply went to bed and he never woke up. How can a 36-year-old just die like that? That's what hypertension called a silent killer. It may seem fine, but that could happen, and that's what happened. I was getting a lot of no's, and I had people tell me, like, no one needs another app. If I'm going to make a move, I've got to make a move to a place where I think I can make this work. I told people I'm going to move to San Francisco, and they're like, how are you going to do this? It's one of the most expensive places in the world. And it was like, I think this is the place. I didn't know anyone when I came here. I've got like literally $500. I was sleeping in shared rooms and bunk beds. Other times I stayed in a co-working space. It was just whatever it takes. My whole aim was to find a way to survive. Because I just knew if I found a way to survive, something's gonna happen. AWS Loves really is just a place where startups can come work, collaborate, and get help from Amazon on any issues they have from tech or business. It's just a great place to get some work done. Right now, one of my main goals is working on my pitch so I can be ready for the last bit of the Accelerator in New York.
Remember last week, we shared a general framework for some elements of a pitch. And I want you to focus on memorability, because at the end of the day, what you're competing for from an investor is really not capital, right? It's their attention. You can give me a bunch of statistics and I can get overwhelmed by it. Or you can tell me a story where I recognize the problem. And then the call to action is like, I want to take that second conversation with you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Njongwe. I'm the founder and CEO of Oben Health. And at Oben, we're on a mission to reverse heart disease. I'm flustered.
No, that's okay. The level that you've improved though, like, it's really, really good.
Okay. Maybe let's go through it again.
someone's going to see you. Someone's going to get it. Someone's going to say this is a great product. And they may not necessarily connect it to me being a Black woman, but this product helped my church survive.
Yeah, so let me show you some of the stuff that's work in progress.
ChurchSpace helps churches put to use their underutilized space. You see how the door is facing that way? I would want the door open because we're trying to convey that churches extend an open door to those in their community. Before we got to Seattle, we had a platform that only worked 80%. We can't really scale that way. Being in Seattle kind of shook us. These are the new 3D cameras that we're gonna be able to use to help churches do like virtual tours on our new platform. So this is what I do. I go from church to church to church. I feel like when you look at a lot of things that are pushed to Black women in business, it's a lot of go girl, independent, you are strong, you can do this. It's you. Hi, Pastor Andre.
How are you?
I wanted to get some images of the church. We're working with the AWS Accelerator.
Come on in.
Really beautiful. I like the high voltage ceilings.
I do too.
Especially for weddings. I definitely want us to get more of this images for the weddings.
Sure.
I remember one of my mentors telling me, Black women are coached to be small business owners and not CEOs. That shifted something for me because I realized I'd grown up thinking I'm going to be a small business owner.
So there's just more space up there that we want to make available.
Will you be willing to put that on ChurchSpace?
Absolutely. That was the whole reason we did it that way.
That's where opportunities like AWS come in because we have the grit, we have the grind, but do we understand the roadmap of not being stuck as a small business owner versus an actual CEO or tech founder? That's why the new platform is going to be so helpful. Right now, we're doing everything manually, so I have to check on my calendar, you have to check on yours. But on the new platform,
everything
we'll
will
be
be there.
able to be just synced up.
You guys have been a lifeline for us. You guys have helped us survive through the tough times. And again, we couldn't have made it without you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Andre.
I appreciate you.
Okay, can you guys see?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the entering of their church. And you can move it however you like. But you see the high voltage ceilings.
Yeah, that's like game changing.
Can you explain from a back end side how we're going to be able to host?
Hosting the 3D videos isn't really going to be a problem. We can host that in S3. The real challenge at that point becomes how do we get that to clients? And for that, AWS has a content delivery network that's extremely robust. That's called CloudFront, so we'll be leveraging that.
In terms of scalability, once we're at thousands of churches on the platform trying to push through these really large files, are there other considerations that we should be thinking about for future development?
Architected really well the first time, you won't need to worry about scale. That's a really big plus of cloud and AWS in general.
I guess on our next call, I think we need to go over the prototype, right, for what we're going to present for week 8 in New York.
Yeah. We should really be looking at like being able to tell the complete story. So we'll talk about architecture, we'll talk about security, we'll talk about scalability.
Yes.
Awesome. This is cool.
I am excited.
Week 8 is really about the culmination of the progress that they've done over the course of the 7 weeks. We have an investor day that's a little bit of a demo, pitches, and an expo.
Some are gonna make it and some are not. Let's see. This has to make it.
Did you see my note about the translation of the word Oben? I mean, I know it's your brother's middle name, but...
It means courage.
Courage, okay.
Yeah. That has to make it courage.
I just want to make sure that we bring the pressure down. You all have worked tremendously hard over the past 8 weeks, and you should be looking at this week as a celebration, not like tomorrow is your make or break, because you've already made it.
I'm trying to share with them, like, this is not the only time that you will get a chance to pitch in front of somebody. It's really giving them a chance to do it for the first time. Many of them, a lot of them have never done it. So we pair them with pitch coaches, and then we meet with them the entire week to just kind of prepare their pitches.
Hi, I'm Marlo.
Marlo.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What is it again?
Oben Health.
Oh.
O-B-E-N.
O-B-E-N.
How to condense everything you're doing in 3 minutes. I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen.
Here's your clicker, Emmanuel.
Okay, thank you.
How you feeling?
Oh, why do I feel nervous a little bit?
Nervous?
Yeah.
Do you do
Just hit me.
jumping jacks or anything?
Yeah.
I'll do them with you. There you go. There, okay. Good. 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 Okay, great. Your
All right.
energy's up. Now you're good.
Hey, Lindsay. Hey. Did you get some rest?
Yes.
Good. He's putting the finishing touches on the mobile about page, but all the other mobile versions are done. But the desktop version looks really good. So.
Good job, Mike.
Almost to the finish line. Yeah. You guys are crushing it.
Emmanuel says I do this every time. And I'm like, we got to do something new, which I don't think I do that. I just feel like now we have the technology, so we need to start transitioning.
With the expo, the startups get to set up their booth and demo their products in front of investors and internal Amazon teams. We've invited the Amazon Prime team, the Alexa team, Amazon Music, because not only do we want to put them in front of investors, we want to put them in front of potential customers as well too.
Attention, attention. The startup stage will begin exactly at 2 p.m.
All right, so one would be like this. This would say prototype. This would say sign up for Preferred Church. Fold some shirts, some hats. My first job was retail. I'm a good folder.
Will you fold?
It's excruciating. You're like, okay, all right, I better not mess this up. But also the excitement to be able to tell your story and have people know what you're doing because you're passionate about it.
Our next founder went to college for pre-med, but quickly decided it wasn't for him. Needless to say, his parents were extremely disappointed. He's now created a health tech startup, and his parents couldn't be more proud. Please welcome to the stage Peter, founder of Oben Health.
My name is Peter Njongwe, and today I'm here to talk to you about the $1.1 trillion problem, heart disease. Not only is it the leading cause of death, killing over 647,000 Americans every year, but it accounts for close to 50% of all healthcare expenditures. And over 50% of the people who die from heart disease are people of color. This is personal to me. In this picture is my brother Paul and I.
I've always hesitated telling the personal story. My mentor is like, you should do that. I looked across the room and you could almost feel that emotion. People connected with that. People are just like, oh wow, I get it. I understand what the problem is.
We've got over 2,500 users on our wait list, incredible user engagement, and I'm happy to say we're on a roll. Since joining the AWS program, we've closed 3 upcoming paid pilots with managed care organizations that are incentivized to lower costs and improve patient lives.
I feel like my pitch has gotten so much better. I think that was a good start.
That's part of our raise and our ask is to expand our operations team.
Before this 8-week accelerator, we were a fluffy concept to people who heard about ChurchSpace. Now we are a serious industry disruptor.
Oh, thank you.
My background's in public health.
So in fundraising, we were really struggling even getting investors talking to us. That's flipped the script.
So then, what are the examples where you've been able to improve health outcomes?
So that's a big win. A lot of momentum. I think Oben has been transformed, and I don't say this lightly, by being through this program.
Okay, awesome. Cool, man. All right, appreciate it. Okay, we'll talk at dinner for sure, too. For sure. All right, take care.
We still have a ton of work to do. I'm still very much haunted by the number of applications and the number of startups that still need help. While I'm excited about this cohort and excited about the next one, how do we continue to do more than just the 25 that get in?
How's everybody? Hanging out in New York, checking
just being able to have this opportunity to extend my network and open doors that would have not been open any other way means so much to me and my family. So I just want to say thank you so much. It's been very impactful.
This means a lot to me to end AWS here in the city, because this is my city. This is where I'm from. I grew up in the projects in the Bronx, a place where a lot of people don't like to go. When I came on the first day, I was talking to some of the security guards in the front door. We found out that we were from the same neighborhood. And she said, wow, you're really doing it. And that made me think back to all my friends who are still on the block, or they're not doing what we're doing here in this room. And just that moment, it made so much sense in terms of how we pay this forward. That what we're doing here, what you guys empowered us to do, is making so much more residual impact than just the 25 companies represented in this room, but even for people who are gonna come in our footsteps after this. So for that, just thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me.
Legacy is when what you did impacted someone else. I just see so much change in our community and our social DNA.
What I would love to see is the point of when an investor gets a deck and they automatically assume it's going to be a Black person, or they assume it's going to be an LGBTQ person, or they're surprised that there are no Black people. So it becomes so common, it removes the element of biases or assumptions that might be made.
People of different lived experiences make for a more open world. And if you can bring that sort of thinking into a tech world, I think technology can start to reach its promise of actually making the world a more equal place. We're gonna start creating solutions for people that have not been talked about.
The door has cracked open a little bit more, but the door is not opened until every Black founder has the same opportunity and doesn't need AWS's support to do it. That's when the door is open. Wearing the shirt that says founder brings a tremendous sense of gratitude to think that every prayer that my family prayed for me, that my grandparents prayed about me before I was born, that those prayers are coming to pass through me. So yeah, I probably won't wear it a lot because I don't want to mess it up. Might frame it, I might give it to my mom and say like, hey, you made so many sacrifices, you probably missed meals for me, this is for you.
It means that I've taken the step and the risk to take on the responsibility to try and make the world a better place. I'm Erica Harvell, and I'm a founder.
I'm Chris Morris, and I'm a founder.
I am Dr. LaVonda Brown, and I am a founder.
I'm Sharon Abobi, and I'm a founder.
I'm Peter Njongwe, and I'm a founder.
I'm Emmanuel Brown.
And I'm Day Edwards, and we are founders.